Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. This is a weekly meal plan episode that where I share my family's meal plan for the upcoming week. And I also do a blog post that goes along with this on my website at lolasfrugallife.com for any of the recipes that I might mention in the weekly meal plan. So this episode comes out every Wednesday. My meal plan starts on Saturday through the following Friday. It's just for dinners. I definitely repeat meals pretty frequently because most important to me is having a meal planned for each day and not worrying so much about always having something new. I try and make things that we eat that we like regularly, and then I add in some new recipes when I can. And I do like rotations too for certain days of the week just to make it super easy. Like I always say, we do hamburgers every other Monday. We do some type of Mexican theme every Tuesday. So we kind of have like themes going pretty much Monday through Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday I just kind of fill in with some other regular meals that I typically make. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, March 11th. So for Saturday, I actually am trying a new recipe, which is called super easy Swedish meatballs, which is from iwashyoudry.com. I have never made this before, obviously, because I said I'm trying a new recipe, but I was making a Swedish meatball crock pot recipe that I made a few weeks back, and I don't know if it was, I used to make it with like frozen turkey meatballs that I would get at BJ's, and I don't know if they changed the turkey meatballs or I just don't like them anymore or whatever, but honestly I thought it came out gross. Like I feel really bad because I hate throwing out food. You guys know that if you've listened to me for any amount of time. I really try everything not to waste food, but I couldn't eat the leftovers and neither could my family. Like it was just gross. I don't know why. So I'm not using that recipe anymore. That I had been using to do the frozen Swedish meat, the frozen turkey meatballs that you kind of made into a Swedish meatball recipe in the crock pot, because I really didn't like it at all. But I do like Swedish meatballs, so I'm going to give this new recipe a try. And for a side, I'm going to do Chef John's perfect mashed potatoes, which is really more just a method to cook the potatoes. It's really simple. It's just easy for me to follow. And they come out really quick and easy that way for mashed potatoes. For Sunday, I am doing sausage and peppers for a dozen, which is from allrecipes.com. So this is just basically sausage and peppers and sauce in the crock pot, and it's so super easy, and you just let it cook all day. And then it's funny though, this recipe, I'm totally just looking at it, and I don't think I've ever even actually looked at this. I always just stick it in my meal plan, and when I see it, I put the sausage and peppers and sauce in my crock pot and let it cook all day. And now that I'm looking at this is actually supposed to be roasted in the oven. So if I've been sharing the link to this recipe and anyone went to follow it, they're probably like, what is she talking about with the crock pot? But what I do is I put this on my meal plan. That way I can get the ingredients that I need. But what I do is I just put the sausage and cut up peppers and a jar of pasta sauce in the crock pot in the morning, and it cooks all day. And it comes out really good. You can use it to make sausage sandwiches, which is actually what the recipe calls for. But I usually just use it as like a side with another pasta dish, which is what we're doing for this Sunday. We're going to be doing baked ziti Roman numeral 2, which is also from allrecipes.com, and this is just like your typical baked ziti with ziti pasta, ricotta cheese, mozzarella, egg, all that kind of stuff. So that will be for Sunday. For Monday, happens to be one of our every other Monday hamburger nights. So don't really have a recipe to share. I just use ground beef, make it into patties, and cook it up in a frying pan. I'm also going to do oven fresh seasoned potato wedges from allrecipes.com. And those you just kind of cut up into wedges. You put them in a Ziploc bag, toss it with some seasonings, and bake them in the oven. They come out really easy. And then we'll do a can of pork and beans with that also. For Tuesday, for our Mexican theme night, I'm going to be doing homemade nachos with ground beef, which is from theseasonedmom.com. But you really don't have to follow a recipe. I mean, I basically just browned up some ground beef and then layer it over tortilla chips on a baking sheet, and then kind of cover that with a bunch of shredded cheddar cheese, and then bake it like that. And then you could just top it with whatever toppings you like. We like salsa and avocados and sour cream and all that kind of stuff. So that is what we're doing for Tuesday. For Wednesday, I'm doing 1 pot garlic, butter, shrimp, and orzo. This is from howsweeteats.com. And this is one of the recipes I've kind of started rotating in on my Wednesday seafood nights. It's really pretty easy and it comes out really good. So we're going to have that again. For Thursday, since it's the day before St. Patrick's Day, I am doing shamrock raviolis, which are a traditional Irish food. Just kidding. I get them at Costco every year just because I think they're so cute. They're just like green on one side and regular pasta color on the other side, and they're in shamrock shapes. And I think it even says like something about traditional on the packaging, which I know it doesn't really mean like that the shamrock shaped raviolis are traditional, but I just always kind of make a joke with my kids like, oh, we're having traditional shamrock shaped raviolis for dinner tonight. We always do that once a year. And then I'm gonna just do quick and easy air fryer sausage on the side with those, which is from staysnatched.com. I used to make the raviolis with Irish bangers to keep kind of with the St. Patrick's theme, but I was getting them at Costco every year and then they stopped selling them. So I don't know why they're not carrying them anymore, because it was kind of like a tradition. Like every year I would always get those and the shamrock raviolis, and I would do those the day before St. Patrick's Day, because then on St. Patrick's Day I do corned beef, which I'll get to in a minute. But anyway, I am a quarter Irish only, but even if I wasn't any Irish, I would still be celebrating St. Patrick's Day because I celebrate anything that I can. I just think it's fun to find little things to celebrate. So anyhow, we'll do that for our St. Patrick's Day Eve meal. And then Friday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be doing a corned beef in the slow cooker. This recipe is called slow cooker corned beef and cabbage, which is from allrecipes.com, but I actually don't do the cabbage in the slow cooker with the corned beef. I just personally don't like how the cabbage comes out. For me, like for my personal taste, it comes out too salty and too much tasting like corned beef. So what I started doing, and I already have a corned beef, it's frozen. I got it at Costco when I got the raviolis and everything. But what I do is I just cook the corned beef in the crock pot, and I don't put the seasoning packet in either, because I don't know, I don't like over seasoned stuff, and to me it just winds up coming out too seasoned. So I think the corned beef itself is flavorful enough on its own. So I just cook the corned beef in the crock pot with, I forget if it's like beer, I think is what I put in there. That's what this recipe says, and I think that's what I did last time. It's like beer and water. So I just cook that in there, and then as a side dish, I'm making easy Irish colcannon. And if you haven't had colcannon before, it's basically mashed potatoes with cabbage in them. So we still get like the cabbage and it is an Irish dish. Well, it's called easy Irish colcannon, but it's like, it's an Irish side dish. So when we're still getting the cabbage, it's just less salty, so it kind of goes nice with the corned beef. So anyway, that is this week's meal plan. That's all I have to share for today. Again, like I said, you can find links to any of these recipes that I mentioned on my blog post for this week's meal plan at lolasfrugallife.com. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.